A big thank you to Sundays for Dogs for sponsoring this episode. I am here in one of my most favorite places on earth, Harpswell, Maine, and today I'm going to take you thrifting with me here in New England to see what it's like to thrift here versus in Florida. It's a little bit of a drive, but it's a beautiful drive, and I'm going to be meeting my sister-in-law, Jenna, over at a thrift store, and so let's get on the road. This is my sister-in-law, Jenna.
Hello.
I am married to her brother, Greg, and she has just launched her YouTube channel.
Yes, I am the lobsterman's wife.
And she really is the lobsterman's wife. So it's all about all things Maine. And so if you love Maine, you love the ocean, you love lobster, then you're going to definitely love her channel. So you're going to want to check that out. Today we're going to go thrifting though. And I'm going to do the 3-minute challenge. Do you know the 3-minute challenge?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, so for all of those of you who do not know the 3-minute challenge, we're going to go inside. We're going to have 3 minutes to find the most bougie, most expensive item that we possibly can. And then the winner gets a prize. Are you up for the challenge?
Sure.
Okay, I think I've never won, so maybe I'll win this time, but probably not because she's from here, so she knows all the value. Let's go inside. The clock starts right now.
All right.
All right, Jenna, let's go. What do we got here? This kind of looks interesting. What is that? It looks interesting and a little slightly creepy. What do you got there?
I just love that. A little ship. Look at this.
That's actually kind of cute.
It is. Wouldn't that be great?
Do you have to build that?
The Airbnbs?
Yeah. What do we think of these? Should this? I just don't know. They kind of look creepy, but they're really antique. So maybe they're worth something. All right, I'm gonna maybe grab these and we'll see. We'll keep shopping.
Oh, I will open up my eyes so I can see the light. Oh, and I'll try to spread my wings so I can fly.
Okay, we're in New England, so these are some I think actual antiques here. So we've got these like fancy looking things. I don't know, I'm gonna pick wrong. I always lose. This one's kind of interesting.
I'm gonna let the past be filled with smoke, and I will try to fix what has been broken.
I don't know what to do. There's so many good, cool things to pick from. I feel like I'm gonna pick wrong. What to do. Okay, it's either the painting or these unique looking dolls. Okay, we gotta go see if we can find Jenna. Jenna, where are you? The time's almost up.
And I'll let my mind be carried by the waves.
Okay, Jenna, what do you got there?
All right, I got the USS Constitution. It is a model that we need to make. It's only $30. I have no idea what it was originally or what it's worth, but either way, I'm gonna make it up, and what a cool little addition to our Captain's Landing Airbnb. But I've also been on this ship. I've done a tour on this USS
ship.
Constitution. Yes.
That's
So either way, I feel like it's going to be a win.
Okay, awesome. I love it. So I decided to go with the painting because it was signed and dated 1908. And so I think that there may be some value in it, but I'm still like, I don't know if I'm going to regret this. So we'll price these out, but this is my official item. But these look just really unique and maybe old, and they could be worth nothing. So if you want to find out which of us won the 3-minute challenge, you're gonna have to stay tuned for a little bit and we'll let you know.
Open my eyes so I can see the light. Oh, and I'll try to spread my wings so I can fly.
Okay, so we're having some internet issues, so we can't use the Google Lens, but we have a backup plan because we are going to be doing a lobster dinner tonight and we'll have internet then. So I've taken photos and we'll do the search then, and we'll find out at the lobster dinner who wins.
There we go.
So I found this, and it's a clothes hamper, and this is really damaged and warped, so we might have to remove that and replace that. But I think we can make that over into something really cute for our Airbnb. Now we're just going to shop for thrift flip items for my Airbnb. We'll find a few items to make over and put in my little Airbnb here. So.
Wait.
really cute, and it's only $5. I feel like, is it sturdy? It doesn't feel too bad. I feel like that's pretty cute.
When you're with me, let every wave gently kiss away.
Are you finding anything cool?
These are reversible. They're kind of sailor on one side and then on the other side. So if you're ever going to cruise or at some point you just want to like take a backpack and not pack much, how cool would that be? Because it's like 2 swimsuit bottoms in one.
Okay, so they don't have like a ton of stuff here, but what they do have is really, really interesting and things that I wouldn't normally find shopping in Florida. So that makes it kind of fun. They have a frame that would fit, but I think that's kind of an odd size, so I don't know. Okay, let's look at some of the art here. This is labeled like maybe it's a well-known farm here. I don't know. What else do we got? See, the artwork here, I can already tell you, is like better than what I normally find. How cute would that be for winter and Christmas time? I love that. Maybe not these ones. This is signed. There's like a lot of signed artwork here, and they're priced accordingly. This is $50, but it's probably still a great deal. That's supposed to be Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm not sure.
I'm the king of the world!
So we have a lot of cool lamps here that maybe we could do something on. I wish Lisa was here with me because this looks like something she would want to make over for sure. Maybe I'll have to get it in her honor.
Like feathers in the wind.
Ooh, this could be a fun project. Is this a lazy Susan? It is, but let's see if it works. Oh yeah, that could be fun. Maybe like a nautical one. I don't know. Let's see. So here is a picture frame, and I noticed on the bottom it's marked with Stifel. I found out that Stifel was a very expensive lamp, so maybe this is worth something. I don't know.
Our hearts and give us a fresh start. Wilderness, we've come for you.
All right, Jenna, did you find anything cool right here? What is that?
It's called Up the River and Down the River, Story from the Maine Woods. It's $20, but look at the colors of that. I have one room that looks so good, but I opened it up and it said, some of our truly best-mannered woodsmen eat with their knives.
That's so Maine, isn't it? So Maine.
And then it starts talking. It's funny because I can see Dad doing that, like cutting up his apple and
Yeah.
eating it with just...
Oh my word, that's so
But
true.
look at that beautiful book cover.
That's
With
really
the
cool.
little, isn't that sweet?
Yeah, that is. Good find. I'll tell you what, books like this are kind of hard to come by in Florida. How cool are these looking? This is a really old and beautiful copy of Jane Eyre. I might get this for my daughter. I might keep it. It's so beautiful.
No urge of
Only at a Maine thrift store would you find real maple syrup and all kinds of things that are made here in Maine. How fun is that? I might have to get some. That seems like a must buy. Look at this pretty bottle. That's really cute. Also, like that. I'm gonna have to ask the Maine expert.
I usually go with the darkest,
The darkest?
but I love that bottle the most with the Portland headlight.
Yeah. So you like the dark, not the light.
I like the dark.
Oh.
It has more flavor. It's
Okay.
deeper.
That's good to know,
Yeah.
everybody. That's the resident Maine expert. She would know.
I don't know that I'm expert about maple syrup, but that's what we like.
You used to maple. You know how.
David's dad, he did. It was such a wonderful one.
Okay, I think we're gonna have to go with the dark syrup. Okay, I got a ton of stuff. We'll take it home and we'll do a little reveal of all the items. I thought it would be fun to do it out on our back deck. You can't see it, but the ocean is right behind me, and I just thought this would be a fun setting to do this. I wanted to share with you all of the finds that we found at the thrift store, and I'm just gonna start with some of the larger items to begin with because they were a little bit fun. So I found this little pretty girl here, and it's just like a little magazine or book rack. that will look super cute. I've got a couple of little tight spots where it could go, and all it's gonna really need is a little paint job because there's no black in my house. It's very nautical. It's like whites and greens and navies and reds in certain areas. So I'm gonna go ahead and paint this out, and that will look really, really good. The next one is also kind of a little bit larger scale item, and it also just needs a really fun paint job. This is actually like a little hamper. You can see it's light enough that I'm able to pick it up, but it's actually pretty substantial in size. I love that it has kind of this shutter feel to it. It's got a warped wood backing. And so I'm debating whether or not I want to keep it as a hamper and change out that piece of wood, or if I just want to paint it out and maybe put some stuff on top of it so it acts more as like a table and not go to the hassle of switching out the wood, because I don't have all of the tools I normally would have at home to do that kind of a thing. Then of course, in the 3-minute challenge, I found this painting and I decided to go ahead and purchase it. I wasn't able to find out much about this, but I will get into like the pricing and stuff with this a little bit later. What I thought we might be able to do is, I think I have in my shed a little simple miter saw. Got to double check and see if it's still working, but I thought we could maybe make a frame for it. We'll just have to see time and if I have the supplies that will make that happen. And so thunder. I would love to frame this out and leave this in the home because I think it would look really, really good. And I have a couple of spots on the main floor that it would look really, really nice in. I saw this and this was just completely neutral. But it is a pretty large scale Lazy Susan, so it's got the back so it will spin. And what I was thinking for this is doing some sort of nautical themed Lazy Susan. I thought that would look really fun and cute in our little Airbnb here, or as a gift for somebody I have in mind. And then I found this stiffle frame that has a little stand on it already. I have a really fun idea for this, so you're gonna have to stay tuned to see what I do with this. Just a simple, easy thrift flip on this one. Then a couple more things. I found this little frame for $3 and I thought it was cute. I actually might take this home with me to Florida because I don't really have a lot of gold stuff in my house here. In fact, there's a mirror that I'm gonna show you that I got on my last trip 2 years ago, and I didn't have room for it in my luggage, and I may try to take that home with me as well. It just doesn't fit the aesthetic here in this house, but it would look really good in my new home. Then I found this copy of Jane Eyre, and I just thought it was really, really beautiful. I actually haven't ever read Jane Eyre. Have you read Jane Eyre? I think it's a classic, and so maybe I should read it, maybe on the flight home, because this will also come home with me to Florida. And then this book I also thought was just beautiful as decor. This is gonna come home with me to Florida. I'm not gonna really flip this piece. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that we're gonna flip here in Maine, and then a couple that we are gonna take home with us to Florida. And so yeah, let me take you upstairs to show you the mirror that I found still hanging out in the closet. I'm surprised somebody didn't take off with it. I'm grateful they haven't, but yeah, it's really, really cute. So let's go upstairs. So this is the mirror that I was talking about. It's really cute. I'll see if I can bring it back this time. I'll have to wrap it in my clothes or something. So we don't always get to take Dolly with us on our trips, but when we do, it's so amazing. I want to give a big thank you to Sundays for Dogs for sponsoring this episode, because it's made traveling with Dolly so much easier. Not only can she have her human grade food that's been air dried and made by a vet, it's so easy to travel with because we don't have to worry about refrigeration or anything like that, and we can know that her diet's not disrupted and that she has the food that she needs. She's not sure what she thinks of this ocean. This is her first time being near the ocean, I think, and she is not quite sure, but what she is sure about is her food. She loves it. It makes her healthy and strong. Her favorite flavor is beef, but they have chicken and turkey as well. It has things that you would find in your pantry. Not only is it flavored with a protein, but it also has fruits and vegetables, and it has all kinds of vitamins and minerals. It's really, really good for her. And so we're so grateful for her. And we're grateful for Sundays for Dogs. If you want your fur baby to have a really good and healthy diet, and you want to try it for 50% off your first order, use the code designedtothenines and click on the link below and give it a try. I know that your fur baby will love it just as much as she does. Oh, you ready to check out the ocean, baby girl? Are you ready to check out the ocean? There you go. Go check it out. So you may be wondering, who won the 3-minute challenge? Well, if you want to find out, stay tuned just a little bit. We'll let you know. Now it's time to do our thrift flips. And while we're going to be doing our thrift flips, there is going to be a special project that I'm going to share with you that I hope to do one day. I don't know if it can happen, but I'm going to share it with you anyways because I have some big ideas. So stay tuned for that. That's coming up in a short bit. In the meantime, let's get started on our first one. And this first one is going to be super, super simple. And what it is the little hamper thing that I bought for, I think it was $5. I loved the shape of it, but it had like a damaged backer board. Now, I don't have all of the tools that I have at home, so ultimately ended up deciding not to do anything with the back piece and just leave it as is. And then instead of using it as a hamper, we'll use it as like a nightstand or a table of some sort. There's lots of little places in this house that could use a little piece of furniture. So I'm gonna head downstairs and see if we have any paint or supplies that I can use for my makeover and not have to go buy anything. I can just hopefully use as much on hand that I have. So this is our little storage room. Little, it's actually kind of big. But this is what I was hoping for. It's the navy paint that I used on my, basically everywhere, on my TV stand and the stripes upstairs in the bedroom. I think this will be perfect for a couple of our furniture pieces. Now I need to see if there's any white paint. So that's an exterior white for like the front porch. Maybe I should do that while I'm here. I don't know. I might need to get some white paint because this was white paint. But it's all dried out, so that's not gonna work. So all we're gonna do on this is I started out by painting out the base in that navy blue color. And initially I was thinking I would just leave the top unfinished. I couldn't find any sandpaper at the time when I was doing this. So I took some steel wool to the top and I thought, well, maybe I could use some Danish oil. So here's our options. I have Jacobian. I know some people call it Jacobian, but I think it's supposed to be Jacobian. But then I have this Danish oil, which is kind of like a colorant and a sealer all in one, but it's maybe not as intense of a color. So I think I'm kind of leaning in this direction, so we'll see how this goes. I started to apply the Danish oil and it didn't work, obviously. The only way I think this is gonna work is if I had a gel stain, because this is kind of like a, I don't know, it's like a plasticky wood. So I think the only way to revive this is with a gel stain, but I don't have that. I just ended up painting out the top after it was all said and done and finishing out that project, letting it dry. In what used to be my son's bedroom, there's a set of bunk beds and there was just this old little cheapo locker thing that I bought at the thrift store years ago and it was falling apart. They have this beautiful dresser that I kind of wish I had in Florida. It's a beautiful piece. And I thought, well, maybe we can use this instead of this little red table that has seen better days. Maybe I'll hold on to it and redo it in the future, but for now, we're not gonna do anything with it. And so I set this up in their room. We're just gonna use it as a simple end table. And for $5 plus a little paint that I had on hand, this little piece got a whole new life. It went from really tattered looking to really looking polished and nice. And even though the back part is kind of wonky and warped, nobody's gonna see that. It's gonna stay shut and it's gonna act as an end table. So I think we're good. But quick, easy thrift flip, and I hope you liked it. So now you remember my 3-minute challenge art piece. We still don't know the value of it, but I loved it. And so I went ahead and bought it anyways, because I just thought it was beautiful. It was antique and there was just something special about it. And I feel like it will look really good in this home. I went to the Home Depot and found some picture frame molding, which I bought 2 pieces of because I remembered that I have a miter saw in my back shed / barn, whatever you want to call it. Let's head out to the barn, and while we're there, I might share with you a little special project that I would love to tackle someday. This is our backyard shed. Can you imagine if I had this in Florida? It would be so awesome. But I have had dreams for this shed since the day we bought it, and I want to show you what before we start cutting our wood. So I envision this as being a little tiny home, but my husband says there's no way that the town will approve it. But I'm still gonna dream, and you never know, I can be persuasive. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. And just overlook the mess because this is currently a shed It's pretty gross. It would need a lot of work. This is what I envision. This right here being like a small kitchen with a stove and range hood here, maybe some open shelves here or like a pantry on the side here. And then over here, we'd put a refrigerator wall and then like a small skinny island because this is a pretty small space. So this is the door entryway. I'm standing in it right now. So to the right would be the kitchen. We probably wouldn't have room for like a traditional dining room. So I'd probably just put some bar stools here. And then I think we could get away with doing like a small sofa right here. And what I envision right here is because there's actually an ocean view. Should we open this up? Let's open this up. I think this little thing needs some grease. I can't get it to open up. So I'll go on the outside here in a second and show you what I'm talking about. In the meantime, I envision this being like some French doors or slider doors here. And on the other side of this, there is a view of the ocean right out this door. So that's really, really fun. This is where it gets kind of interesting. So what I envision is right where this ladder is, which is, by the way, kind of a cute ladder. I could see that being decor or something, is building a door into what's open space right now, and I'll go show you what I'm talking about, and turning this into a bunk room and having like an entryway over here to like a small 3/4 bath right there. So I'm telling my audience my dreams for this space. What do you think will happen?
Well,
Oh, come on.
running into the city, we have to be 12 feet from every property line, which means we would need to move this about 12 feet closer to the house. The issue is that we have to put in a new septic system, and that septic system is gonna be encroaching on where it is right now. Sorry to be such a Debbie Downer.
Where there's a will, there's a way. So we're gonna figure it out. So we are on the outside. This is the garage, and I will show you the view. Okay, so it's not a huge view of the ocean. It actually used to be better. We might have to cut some trees down on the end of our property. I think it's our trees that are kind of encroaching on that a little bit. But you can see the ocean kind of peeking through, and you can actually have a better view of it from the upstairs area. And so here's where we'd have the French doors, and this is where I was telling you where I'd want to put the door right here, and this would turn into like a bunk room, and then there's a room for a bathroom, and we'd have probably the entryway for it right on this side. And then I think we would still have room on the back side to put like a lawnmower and some of our yard tools and all of that on the back side of this. That's the upstairs area. I want to take you up and I'll show you what I envision for up there. Right now there's a pull down stairs or ladder, I guess, but I envision like right here in the middle area, or maybe a little bit back, doing like a spiral staircase so it doesn't take up a ton of room. Or maybe we can do like a really skinny staircase that goes up this way. I'm still playing around with some ideas there. So let's see if we can pull this down. Hopefully there's not a lot of mice. That would not be good. So I want to remove this little hole right in the middle of the room. And like I said, try to move the stairs over here. Maybe the stairs could go through the outdoor space. You know what I'm talking about? And maybe do, I don't know, something a little bit more substantial. But this back area here, ooh, it's hot. I envision being like a bathroom space. And then on either side in the eaves, I see some like built-in drawers and cabinets and everything on either side for storage. And then we'll have a wall here. So this will be all filled in. A wall would be probably starting like right here. And then this would be the bedroom area, and the bed would sit right over the top of where the existing staircase is. And then where that little thing is just making a huge window that can look out to the ocean. Let's see if we can open it. Look at that. It's like almost like a tree house vibe. Yeah, we'd have to do some trimming of some trees so that we can get a better ocean view. I think it's literally mostly our trees that are blocking it. These ones right in here, I think if we like cleared that out. Can you see my vision? I hope that we can talk the town into it eventually. I don't know when we'll get to it, but let me show you what my husband's talking about. So that's the neighbor's house. And we are really close to the property line. I think we're actually like on it. We're definitely not honoring the setbacks, but we didn't do that. That was just how it was when we bought it. So I don't even know where the stakes are, but I know that we're really close to the property line. And I guess I'm just hoping that they will grant like an exception, like grandfather in. Our next door neighbors are really cool, and it's been like this for, I don't know, 20, 30 years. I'm just hoping that we can just like lift up the unit, maybe move it over a tad bit, and then build a solid foundation underneath this. So I don't know, it's a big project, it's a fun project, and I really want to do it, but we'll see what happens. Let's go back downstairs and start making our frame. This is the first saw that I ever bought. I bought it used off of Facebook Marketplace. Let's see if it can still make some miter cuts. Let's see if it works.
Gonna stay in this moment. Gonna lay here on the grass.
This one that we just cut fits really good. So I just laid it on here and I marked on either side, and we're gonna cut that. So that will be the top and bottom, and then we'll work on the sides.
Gonna stay in this moment. Gonna lay here on the grass. Gonna stay in this moment. Gonna lay here on the grass.
Okay, you can't tell here, but it does fit. It just needs glued, and I've got some corner brackets. And so we're going to use this as a template for the other side, and then we will be able to assemble our frame. But we're going to do that inside because it's pretty hot and humid out here. So we'll go in and assemble it inside, and then take it out to the garage or something to stain it. So there's a little bit more room in the garage, and it's a little less cluttered and dirty. And then I just took some wood glue, and I didn't have all of the proper tools that I wanted that I normally would work with. So we were just kind of going with the flow on this one, and tried to make it as square as I possibly could. And then I flipped it over and put on some corner brackets. I may have done that a little too premature, because I should have maybe let the wood glue dry and then put on the corner brackets, but I was worried that it would dry funny. And in the end, I think adding the corner brackets too soon made it separate just ever so slightly in the corners. And so they're not perfectly flush. It might be from that. It might be from the fact that my miter saw is not completely 100% accurate because it's really, really old. I don't know. I was just super inspired and excited by the frame that we did for the TV a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if you've seen that episode, but if you haven't, you should totally watch it, because that was a lot of fun, and that frame turned out really, really cool. I think had I been home, I would have the proper brackets. I also would have had some little pin nails or brad nails that I could have nailed in the corner to make everything a little bit more secure before doing the corner brackets. Anyway, once that was dry, I went ahead and just sanded the corners just so slightly, because I did end up finding some sandpaper. Didn't have it for the first project, but I had it for this one. And then I just took some stain and poly in one and sealed that out. By the way, if you haven't seen the full tour of this, I did it like several years ago on my channel. It's like an older video, but it still gives you a tour. And then I also did a living room makeover a couple of years ago. I will link both of those in the description box below if you're interested in seeing those. And then I hung it up, and it was so beautiful. I am so tempted to pack this up in my suitcase and take it home with me. You never know. I mean, I just don't know what the value is, and if I'm like leaving this highly valuable piece of art here in the Airbnb, I just don't know. This may come home with me to Florida, but in the meantime, it looks really, really good here, and I'll let you know in future episode what I ended up deciding to do on this piece of art, if I took it home with me or not, with the other couple of things that I am taking home, or if it stayed here. So you'll have to stay tuned. Next up, I found another little $5 or $6 end table thing. It was kind of skinny and long. It had the spindles. Super, super simple. It was in good condition, really good condition, and it was good as it was in the color black. The problem is black doesn't really go with what I've got going on in decor wise in this home. So I just did a couple quick coats of navy blue paint on this. and then I put it in this little skinny space on the side of my sofa that didn't have a piece of furniture on or an end table. I just thought it would be good to have a little extra table in there, and it's kind of a small living room for how large this home is. There's so many possibilities, but I had always thought, well, maybe it would be cool to blow out the back of the house just a touch and make a little bit bigger family space. But this being our Airbnb, I think it's fine. And so I just tucked that little table on the side, and it is going to work great for the space as it is for the time being. For this last thrift flip, let's just say things didn't go totally smoothly with this project, but I had plans. So there was several different directions I considered taking this. I thought it would be really cool to turn it into a captain's wheel and put a whole bunch of pegs on the outside and make it really nautical looking. Maybe engrave like a captain's wheel in it and make it as a cool charcuterie board. I didn't think that I could find the pegs that I wanted, and I didn't have the equipment I wanted to do, like maybe some engraving or wood burning and all that. I then considered what are my options for painting it out, and I thought about doing maybe some nautical stripe with a monogram for my sister-in-law, who doesn't know I'm going to be giving this to her, but I am. But ultimately, I came across my stencil that I used in my upstairs bathroom that has all these anchors on the wall. I used it as like a all over wallpaper, and it's really, really cute. I thought we could use it on this, it's not a turntable. Why can't I think of what it's called? Lazy Susan. Okay, this little Lazy Susan platter charcuterie board, whatever you want to call it. And so what I did is I started out by painting the edge banding red. Now, in theory, that should have worked good, but I got a little carried away when I then put on the navy blue on the top. I did 2 coats of navy blue paint, the same navy blue paint that we've been using. It got a little messy around the edges, but I was like, oh, you know what? It's okay. I'll go back in and hand paint that and fix it a little bit later. I then proceeded to take the wallpaper stencil thing and paint white paint on those. And let's just say it got a little messy. So I kind of expected it to happen. You do it a little bit different on the wall. I probably should have done it a little similar to what I did on the wall. Is when you use those, typically you use a roller and then you like get it pretty dry and then you do it on the wall. I didn't really do that, so the edges were kind of messy. So I went in and hand fixed all of the edges of the anchors and cleaned it up with just some paintbrushes. And it was a little bit tedious. And then I went back in and did the edge banding again, and it was looking so good. I was like, yes! And then I took it out into the garage to seal it. And that's where things went really, really wrong. Oh my goodness. So I sealed it really well out in the garage, and for whatever reason, it made it cloudy. And I don't know if it's just because I didn't let the initial paint dry long enough. It was dry. I don't know if it was too humid outside. I don't know if I put too much of it on. If you know why this happens, comment in the comments below and let me know. But either way, it totally ruined it. And I was like, no! Because I was going to be giving it to her for a little get-together party that we were having with some friends that night, and it was ruined. So I'm like, what do I do? So then I took some steel wool. When I was doing this, I didn't know that I had sandpaper. Later I found out that I did, and so I did the steel wool, and it cleaned up a little bit, but ultimately I'm like, do I repaint the whole thing and start from scratch, or do I kind of just fix what's going on here? So I was like, oh, if I start from scratch, there's no way it's going to be done in time for the party. So what I set about doing is painting all of the navy blue by hand. I know. And so I did it, and it didn't end up being the most pristine finish ever. It looked way better when I had sealed it, but it just, ugh. It still looked cute. In the end, it still looked really, really cute. And then I took it over to Jenna's for the get-together. So everybody, this is Sarah from Wicked Board Charcuterie on Instagram and YouTube. Is that right?
Yes. Well, actually very soon, so you have to...
It's coming soon. Yeah. Okay. And she is going to decorate up our board that we did today and make it look beautiful. So tell me, what's the secret of doing charcuterie boards?
The secret, which I tell everyone, is to not overthink it and to relax and enjoy the process.
I love it. That's sound advice. I love it. Okay, so we're gonna let her do her thing, and then I'm gonna show you her amazing creation. You're gonna die when you see it. All right, Jenna, what are you doing over here?
Hello, hello. All right, so for our really fun game night and Sarah's amazing charcuterie board, I offered to just make my warm lobster dip.
Nice.
So it is like a cream cheese and onions and a lot of picked lobster, and we'll dip veggies and crackers and all sorts of good stuff. It has Parmesan. It goes in the oven. It comes out warm and gooey and melty. It's really, really good.
Oh my word.
So,
I'm so hungry right now.
yeah, I'll share the recipe. So excited.
So she's gonna share the recipe on her channel. I'll make sure to link that in the description box below. Oh my word, guys. Look, it's not even done, but it is so stinking amazing. Look at that. Between her and Jenna, they filled up this board with the most beautiful, like, Maine charcuterie board. And of course, she covered it up with some parchment paper to protect it and everything. So my mistakes were covered up a little bit, but I could see this being a really cute display piece on Jenna's countertop for decor and other parties. And I hope that she gets a lot of use out of it, even though it's got a little bit of character, if you will. Okay, so now it's time to reveal the 3-minute challenge winner. Who do you think it's gonna be? Was it me? Was it Jenna? Who had the most expensive piece? Well, let me just say that it was not so simple. Okay, so we just had our lobster dinner, and that was quite the experience for me.
It was fun. It's so good.
It is so good. And I bet all of you are wondering who won the 3-minute challenge.
I'm dying to know.
Okay, so here's the deal. I did a huge search, and I could not find the painting person.
No,
I found one like little description, and the painting prices varied anywhere from $28 to $3,500. So
oh, wow.
Since I couldn't find the exact painting, I'm gonna go with $28 for mine.
No, that's not fair.
It is what it is. I gotta.
What's the average of that?
Oh no, it's like, since I don't know it, I gotta assume that it's the cheapest. So
Was mine amazing?
Jenna,
What?
yours was worth $450.
No way! I got it for $30.
$450. So Jenna wins.
I'm so excited.
And I owe her a sushi date.
Yes, sushi! That
Okay.
is great.
Yeah, so congratulations.
Who knew?
$450.
I know, now we need to have the boys put it together. I'm gonna pay one of the nephews.
So you do the 3-minute challenge with your friends. It's a lot of fun, and it can be a good time. So go do it and let me know about it. All right. In all fairness, I could not find out the exact value for my piece, so I'm still working on that. I think I may have appraised, because, you know, it's anywhere from $28 or whatever it was to $3,500. That is quite a range, and it has me intrigued. So I have put out some feelers, and hopefully I can come up with an actual value. But in the meantime, Jenna was the 3-minute challenge winner, fair and square, and she had an amazing find at $450 or whatever it was. That is crazy. So obviously this was filmed over the course of a few days while we were here visiting in Maine, and I hope that you enjoyed that. A big thank you to Sundays for Dogs once again for sponsoring this episode. If you want to give your little fur baby the very best with the convenience of it not having to be stored in the fridge, then use the coupon code designedtothenines and it will give you 50% off your first order. I hope that your little fur baby loves it as much as mine. And if you enjoyed this episode, here's another one that I think you'll like as well. And to all of my DIY goddesses, you are more powerful than you know. We'll see you next time. Bye.